Good morning. Good morning. Today is the 4th of May. Already we're into a wonderful day. A day that wasn't promised, but a day that we're given. If you are here, wonderful. Thank you. I'm so happy to see you this morning. Or at least be in a position to know that I can see you come into this space. This space. I tell you, I hope your weekend was good. Mine was really good. I got a lot done. I think I completed one of the books to my satisfaction. Everybody that kind of knows me knows that I I go with purpose, but it also has to be that I feel I'm comfortable with what the end result is, and so it took me a while and trying to make sure I got the right language in there and all of the information that certainly says that more is being done than what was out there before. And so I've worked on that, and I really feel that hopefully it will be supported by the community here in Pensacola, but everywhere. I think it's a children's book, and it is about a local musician, Mr. Al Martin, and I'm excited about it and hoping that you all will certainly be contributors to the future of other young people in the area getting an opportunity to see what hard work does. And certainly right now the title of the book is called Al's 10 Fingers. And so I'm pretty stoked about it. I just needed to deal with so many different people along the way before I finally got it to where I'm feeling pretty comfortable. And hopefully it'll be out on Amazon. They're backed up a little bit. From what I've talked when I've talked with someone on the phone, so there's not a lot of personnel on to help, but we're getting there. We are getting there. So this morning, I'm certainly going to say good morning again. Good morning, good morning. And are you stuck? Are you stuck? Yes, we are all stuck. Right now it's quarantine, but pretty soon it'll be something else. We'll be stuck on whatever, but there's a lot of area out there. Good morning, Lavender. Good morning, Aaron. There's a lot of area for us to get stuck on, and so we need to look at what stuck does for us. Nothing. It doesn't help us accomplish anything going forward. We have a tendency to remain where we are, stuck in our thoughts, stuck in our position, stuck with the people, stuck with everything. And so the wonderful thing about this program that I'm teaching, it teaches you that you have to sometimes go down into your basement. You have to go down those stairs, declutter them as you're going down. Clean out down in the basement because, as I've talked before, there's a lot of stuff in our basement, and we can get rid of it. We can get this is a wonderful opportunity for us to get rid of so many things, people, possessions, positions. The position you played in the past does not have to be the position you go forward on. Stand on you. And today we're going to talk about that whole thing of trust. Trust you. Trust yourself. Who are you? Who are you? And I know I've asked that question before, and I have more questions today. I do. I give you questions every day. Hope you have your pen, pencil, paper, your phone, anything. Just take some notes. Take some notes. And these are not my notes. They're my notes for you. So do something with them. I'm praying that you will certainly do something with them. And so today I wanted to start off with a poem. And this poem is by Ellen Bailey. And the poem says, "Why would you want to be someone else when you could be better by being yourself? Why pretend to be someone you are not when you have something that they haven't got? Cheating yourself of a life you have to live deprives others of that only which you can give. You have much more to offer by being just you than walking around in someone else's shoes. Trying to live the life of another is a mistake. It is a masquerade, nothing more than a fake. Be yourself and let your qualities show through. Others will love you more for being just you. Remember that God loves you just as you are. To him, you are already, a bright shining star. Family and friends will love you more too if you spent time practicing just being you. And I every time I go through, different poems, I write my own, but sometimes I want someone else's perspective. But this kind of sung it up to me this morning as to how things could be, as to how you could really look at yourself differently if you just trust. What is your trust? What's your trust in you? I want to be in my own trust. I want to stand in my own way, in a good way, not in a way that interferes in me going forward, but in a way that says that I can go forward, and I've taken the chance to do it. It always says failure is in the trying, but how do you know if you can't fail or even succeed if you never try? And some people never try. I'm challenging you this morning to try something new. Try it. So anyway, now that I did my little poem, I want to talk, and I'll go back over that again for those who may be coming into the space a little late. That's okay. But trust, I wanted to break it down. And when you break down trust, you want to talk about the T. The T is for your talent. What is your talent? What is it? And talent to me are the things you can do, the things you can create, the things you can do with or without effort. That's your talent. And sometimes we never even go down into our talent. We don't realize that we're multi-talented. Just like if you take that multiple intelligences test, which I try to keep putting in my link, in my post, you will find out that you have a lot that you are just gifted with, but you don't do it. Like the person who can paint and never paints, the person who can sing and never sing, the person who could write and never writes. Do it. I'm challenging you to do something. The next thing it talks about, the R of trust, is your reveal. What do you want to be revealed about yourself? But you got to go into yourself to find out what that reveal is. Where's it at? Is it only in your foot? Okay. Is it in your heart? Is it in your head? Is it in the way you look at stuff? Because some people can look at the same thing and see something different. They just do. And how about the persons that you can tell, you tell a story and the story starts here, but as the story moves around in the circle, the story changes. That's because the hearing is different and the vision is different. What I'm telling to you is find your own vision. Know that you can hear for yourself. You don't need a whole bunch of big people. Good morning. Good morning, Mackenzie, and good morning, Paulette, my friend from undergraduate school. How you doing this morning? But anyway, so you want to get into what is your true reveal? What is it? How can you get to it? Got to go down in your basement. The next word for in trust is understand. To understand something. That means you know how it implies, what it implies to you. See, you can hear the same story, and your understanding could be different than someone else's. That's just like the telephone. As it goes around, the story changes. So, what is your understanding about who you are, what you are, where you want to go? How can you get there? That's your story, but it has to be your understanding. And so it says, understanding is the things that come, that grip you. They just take you. You understand it. This is how you get it. You get whatever the story is. But I'm asking you, I want you to get your own story. Know your own place. Know your own position. Know your own people. Your people, starting with yourself. That's your people. You own that. Okay? Unless you constantly give it away. And a lot of us do. We give away a lot of things to a lot of people, and we get nothing in return. So what I'm saying to you is understand who you are and then go from there. The next part of trust is the S. What does the S mean? Self. Self. Self means me. Remember, we've been talking about not the we, but the me, getting back down to who you are. You are who you are. Can nobody take that away from you unless you give it to them. You know, and a lot of times when we give up ourselves, we've given up our power. We've given up our voice. We've given up our abilities. We've given up our ability to see, to hear, to know, to do. So take it back. Take it back. This is quarantine time. This is a time for you to say, on the other side of quarantine, here's where I am. Here's what I'm doing. I'm excited about my next. You know, what's your next? What is the self that you want to come out with that you currently, know you need to go down to the basement, clean up, and come on back out? My mother always said that when we were little, we couldn't play in our school clothes. When we came home, we had to get out of our school clothes. Same thing with church. Church clothes couldn't be play clothes. And that's what I'm saying to you. Come up with, excuse me, my nose. Come up with what it is that makes you, yourself. You may have a certain style that only you have. People may copy, but it's your style. There's certain things you may put together. You may have a certain way you write, a certain way you speak, a certain way you dance. Those are all you. That's self stuff, okay? But the self I'm talking about is to bring that stuff forward along with other stuff. Writing and analyzing and, reading a book and coming up with information, a part of a conversation that you can start. That's self. You don't worry about anybody else. You can ask opinions and then provide your own. That's self. And the last one of the trust is the T, which is transition. What's your transition? Where are you going? Transition means movement. Transition is action. Going up the steps, going down the steps, going around the corner, going to visit grandma, going to the store. Those are transitions, but those aren't the kind of transitions I'm necessarily talking about. I'm talking about the transition of you. Pre one thing, post something else. That kind of movement of where you made some decisions for yourself. You've changed some things that you didn't think you'd ever change. You smoke, you no longer smoke. You drink, you only drink a little bit, or you don't drink at all. You cuss. Now, it always reminds me, my mother was a good woman and always in transition. We used to call her, we called my mother Roadrunner Lily because my mother walked every day between 8 and 10 miles. She never learned to drive a car in New York, but she walked everywhere, took the bus, did what she wanted to do, and in the meantime, cussed you out along the way. I'll give you this one little story about my mother. One day, somebody was in the car, and this is a little different. Okay, he was in the car and he was moaning. He was moaning, and he was saying, So my mother went over to the car. My mother was the genuine, just helper on the side of the road. So she decided she was going to help this man. And she says, "What's wrong? Can I help you?" He said, "Yeah, you can get in this car looking as fine as you can. You can get in this car with me and we can just have some fun." I'm going to tell you the other words that she used. But she said, "You wait right there." So she went to the alley and got a brick. And she decided, she threw the brick in the car and he sped off. But that was Roadrunner Lily, that was her name. Always in transition. Now, see, he helped her transition from being a nice woman to being a woman, I'm going to get you. And she went ahead and found the brick and helped him leave in his transition. So sometimes you never know. The transition may come in different ways and it may come with a little funny. And that was my mother's funny. But transition makes you see where you have the ability to see your life, to appreciate your life, to love your life, to acknowledge your life, to live your life, to live it to your standards, not anyone else's, to live it. I'm hoping you all are getting this because I every night I prepare before I go to bed, and then I may tweak it a little bit the next morning, but I don't know. God just gives it to me. He gives me these things that I need to talk about, and you can even look at the phrase, "Are you stuck?" I was given that years ago because I felt after I had worked for someone for years and years and years, using up all of my good brain cells and developing programs and statistics and all kinds of things and surveys and never seeing my name on anything, it just told me that if I did it for them, I can certainly do it for myself. I can do it. And sometimes that's the position we need to take. What can you do for yourself? Good morning, Amanda. What can you do for yourself? What? There's something. We can all do something for ourselves that can be remarkable, that can be revealing, that can be what we trust about who we know we are, and not what everybody else thinks we are, but who are we? So anyway, I'm hoping you're liking that. But look, I hope you got your pencil and paper now. I got some questions for you based on today's discussion of trust, which is the talent, the reveal, the understanding, the self, and the transition. All those things speak to trust, who you are, where you're going, how you're going to get there. So the first question is, my talents are. Can you identify your talents? Do you know what they are? Have you buried them for so long you're afraid to go down there because of the cobwebs? Clear the cobwebs. Let them go. Good morning, Carla. Let them go. Let them go. You know what? When you clear out the cobwebs and along with the spiders, you may find something that you've been looking for a long time. That's your treasure. And the treasure is something that you can bring up with pride, because it's something that has basically launched you forward, because you came up from your basement with it. You went down there, discovered that, hey, I can do this. I didn't realize I could do this. How do I do it? And this is how you get it done. So that would be the first thing. Your next question, I have or can reveal X about myself. I can reveal it. This is who I am. Not afraid, Like I have, somebody told me that I had the gift of gab, But when you come from a family of 10 children and you the baby, okay, you have to just realize at the end means something, okay? That means you can pick up some information and some mistakes, some triumphs. You can watch it all. You have, to me, anybody that's in the back does have full vision of what's ahead of them. Now, they may not see everything that's on the top shelf, okay? But that's when you get a ladder. That's when you find some other way to lift yourself up. But the point I'm making is that not only can you work well from behind and learn some things. Good morning, Janisha. When you go forward with this stuff, can nobody stop you. Not only will you pass all the places that you were looking at and over, but eventually you will be at the top of your game, in a position of helping others move through their transition, move to their next level, move towards up, moving. It's up, and it's up. You want to go up, and you want to go up for yourself. And in the interest of you going up for yourself, you've helped other people go up just because they've seen you, they've watched you. They're amazed at the fact that you've been blessed. Everybody wants to be in a position of transition, instead of just I don't want my life to just have it where everything is coming to me. I want to go after some things. So what I'm telling you is go after what you want. Reveal who you are. And the next question is, what do you understand about you? What do you understand about yourself? Years and years and years, we lived our lives and we lived our lives for others. So when we get down to what I call the in between the lines, it may give us an opportunity to really say, wow, wow, I didn't realize that I still had that, or I had that ability to do that, and I've given it up. I'm telling you, rediscover, understand more about who you are. And that I tell you, to push you forward, you don't even have to worry about it. You will move forward without even knowing it. You will. In fact, you'll be surprised that, look, I was back there. Now I'm up here. And I can tell you, the people working with me in this program, and please hit share. I forgot to ask you to hit share. But share this, every one of you that come into this, share this space of Sandy Winborn. That's my name. Share it, please. But you just have to put yourself in a position where you're constantly making yourself able to move forward. You never know what you can do unless you try it. And then you stand on what you try. And then guess what? That didn't work. You try it differently, or you add some things to it. Eventually, the formula will work. But you have to continue to try. You just can't continue to sit in one space, one place, and think that the scenery is going to change. Last week I told you that we used to call my sister a certain name that said all she did was sit around. And sometimes we do. We don't have any aspirations for ourselves, but we need it. And so the next question is, what is your self-love statement? What is it? What do you love about yourself? What do you care about yourself? What do you expect of yourself? What do you pray for yourself? What do you hope for yourself? What do you acknowledge for yourself? What are they? What are those things? Write them down. Write them down, because they're important. And the last question is, I am transitioning from this to that. And I go back to the other thought. It kind of fleed me a second. Is that I have some young ladies that have worked with me where just they've made transitions. They've moved from one area of their life to another. They moved from just working for other people to working for themselves as business owners. They worked from working in a multi-level team to being independent, an independent entrepreneur. Or they've gone from being just a team member to managing the team, or heading up the company, or heading up, the unit, whatever it is. The point I'm making is that you have to decide what transition is right for you, and then transition. Figure out what your transitional steps will be, because there's going to be some steps. You got to come up from there. You got to come up from downstairs. I live in a multi-level home, and people come to my house and they say, girl, I can't be hanging out in here because, they have to go up some steps. And sometimes we have to go up some steps to get to where we want to go. And we don't realize that just sitting in the basement only gets us stuff on that level. We have to come up from that level. We have to move to another level. What's your new level? So anyway, let's go back now, because I'm trying to be more mindful of making sure that we do everything according to time that can be allowed us. But anyway, I'm going to read the poem again for those who came in late, which I feel is really good. And this poem is by Ellen Bailey. And it says, why would you want to be someone else when you could be better by being yourself? Why pretend to be someone you are not when you have something they haven't got? Cheating yourself of life you have to live derives others of that only which you can give. You have much more to offer by being just you than walking around in someone else's shoes. Trying to live the life of another is a mistake. It is a masquerade, nothing more than a fake. Be yourself and let your qualities show through. Others will love you more for being just you. Remember that God loves you just as you are. To him you are already a bright, shining star. Family and friends will love you more too if you spent more time practicing just being you. So I'm asking you to be you this morning. Trust yourself. Find your talent. Know what to reveal about yourself to yourself. Others will see it. Have an understanding of who you are and understand what you are in terms of yourself. And lastly, do transition. Know what your transitional steps are. So you need to trust yourself to be talented, to be revealing, to be understanding, to be in your own self's way, in a good way, and then be able to make your transition. I hope you have a wonderful day. I appreciate you coming into this space with me. Please, please, please hit share or go to my YouTube channel where all of these videos are there, and it's under Sandra L. Winborn, PhD. I believe that we can do it together and we can see ourselves trusting more about who we are on the other side of quarantine and even later in life, because this too, it shall pass. Good morning, Justine. Have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Bye-bye.